There is a lot of discourse around the Arizona Diamondbacks and manager Torey Lovullo. And whose fault is it when the Arizona Diamondbacks, just fall flat on their faces? That's what happened last night. You're watching that game up until the 6th inning. I believe it was up until the 6th or 7th inning. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has a no-hitter going into that game. And you're like, man, this is a very winnable game. This team's down 1-0 in Dodger Stadium. You're getting no hit, but you just need a spark. And then lo and behold, leave it to Ketel Marte to break it up in the, I believe, 7th inning. And then it brings me to my point about the just nonsense that is the dialogue surrounding manager Torey Lovullo. I have obviously been annoyed with Torey on multiple occasions this year. But that's just baseball. That's just the manager. I don't think he is ultimately pulling all the strings for this team. I will continue to preach that I think this is a Mike Hazen-ran team, and Torey Lovullo is just there to build the relationships and instill confidence. I think being a manager in baseball has never mattered less. Unless you have Bruce Bochy or one of those elite tier managers, I just don't think it matters that much. Torey Lovullo is in the, does he make guys better? Does he instill confidence? Is he a connector of the team? Check, 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 check. That's what he does. I don't think he's anything more than that, which is fine. And then, of course, he takes the arrows for sometimes Mike Hazen's or coaching staff obscure idea of how to win a baseball game. But this is just another example. And if you watched my Saturday special with Alex D'Agostino talking about the Diamondbacks season on Saturday, You saw him lay out something that was kind of interesting about this team. He put more of the blame on the season, on the play, and not as much Torey Lovullo. And I thought it was interesting, and he laid it out with the analogy like this. Imagine you're an employee and your boss schedules you for 7:15, but instead you show up at 8:15 and you do a really crappy job. Is it the manager's fault or is it the employee's fault? And the more I thought about that analogy, it's like, yeah, it is kind of the employees' fault. That being the players of this team right now. And so with that being said, this Diamondbacks team, the players, they're not executing. And so let me paint you a picture. It's 1-0, top of the 8th inning. No outs. There's a guy on first, there's a guy on third. Is it Torey Lovullo's fault that Eugenio Suarez pops up, Corbin Carroll strikes out, Ketel Marte gets an intentional walk, and then Gurriel strikes out? At that point, it's bases loaded, 2 outs with Lourdes Gurriel up to the plate with a chance to win the game. You don't even go into extras at that point. And then, of course, Gabriel Moreno, who's starting to really turn it around this season in terms of power, knocks one out of the park in the 9th inning, and then you get into the bottom of the 10th, and this is after Corbin Carroll takes Tanner Scott yard again. You're up 3-1 in that game in the bottom of the 10th inning. You have to win those games. And I'm sick and tired of blaming Torey for everything. This team has got, and I understand why people at times do blame Torey Lovullo. And for those in the chat, we will get to the Cardinals in just a minute. I know a lot of you guys like that talk as well. But I'm so over blaming Torey for everything. I'm so over it, guys. This team has got talent everywhere. This roster is loaded when you compare it to the 2023 World Series team. It's loaded. At this point, Eugenio Suarez is batting 9th on this team. The bullpen is awful. Obviously, the bullpen is bad. Those aren't Torey's fault. And I'm going to start relating to the Diamondbacks to the Phoenix Suns at this point in the season. Because I understand, it's early. There are a few games over 500. When are we going to stop saying it's early? Are you going to stop saying it's early when it's too late for this team to dig themselves out of the hole that they've put themselves in? Last year, they missed the playoffs on tiebreakers. You care about 3 more of those games technically, one of those games early in the season, you make the playoffs. Like, I'm over saying it's May, it's June, it's April. At some point, these games matter, right? Especially divisional games. So, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're starting to remind me of the Phoenix Suns in some ways. The Diamondbacks are obviously clearly much more talented and are better at this point in the season than the Suns were, clearly. But when everyone was blaming Mike Budenholzer for the Arizona Diamondbacks struggles, when everyone was blaming Mike Budenholzer for the Phoenix Suns struggles, I was continuously saying, can we look at the players, please? Like, Budenholzer's not helping this team. He's not a net positive. But can we start blaming the players for the reasoning why this team isn't succeeding? You have Kevin Durant, you have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker out there. You should be better than this. And you're not. You're just simply not. And so, when that stuff tends to happen, it drives me crazy because you're blaming Torey, and you see this Diamondbacks team, you have Corbin Carroll, you have Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel is playing well recently. He's either the best player on the planet or the worst player on the planet. There's literally no in between. Alec Thomas is playing better this year. Eugenio Suarez, Gabriel Moreno. Like, you have guy after guy. Geraldo Perdomo's having a career year. And then your pitching staff's Corbin Burns, Brandon Pfaadt's awesome, Miro Kelly's tough as nails, Ryan Nelson was really good last night, and then, of course, Zach Gallen, who's really up and down. At some point, you do have to blame the players. And I'm getting sick of just blaming everything on Torey. I tweeted last night after the Diamondbacks loss, I can't wait to find out how Torey Lovullo lost the Diamondbacks this game momentarily on Twitter. You have a chance to turn what is a 4-game losing streak for the Dodgers into a 5-game losing streak. And at that point, it really starts to get in your head because you're just trying to get a win. And the Dodgers now win this game, and they have a chance to take the series tonight. You can't keep splitting series with the Dodgers just because they're the Dodgers. You have to win series or just avoid getting swept. That's not good enough. You need to win the series. At some point, tiebreakers matter. And at some point, we have to start looking at the players for the reasoning why the Diamondbacks aren't succeeding to where we thought they would be at this point in the season. I thought they'd be an easy playoff team at this point in the season. I thought they'd be second in the division. Instead, they're fourth in the division, and they're currently not in the wild card contending. And tell me it's early. Go for it. You want to ride that boat all the way to missing the playoffs? Go for it. I learned my lesson from last year, not taking games early in the season seriously. This is no longer a Torey Lovullo issue. At some point, blame the players. Top of the 8th inning, man on first and third, Eugenio Suarez strikes out. Corbin Carroll strikes out. I'm sorry. Man on first and third. Suarez strikes out. Corbin Carroll pops out. Gurriel strikes out. Just like that. Threatening with the bases, and at one point the base is loaded, and you get 0 out of it. No outs in the top of the 8th inning. Man on first, man on third. Pop out, strike out, strike out. That's not a Torey Lovullo issue. That's a Corbin Carroll, Eugenio Suarez, Lourdes Gurriel issue. And 4 years ago, you live with it. You lose in a close game to the Dodgers. Not anymore. Raise your standards and be a little bit more of a keen eye or use a little bit more of a keen eye than just blindly blaming the manager for the reason why the players aren't succeeding. This is not a Torey issue. This is a player issue. All right. Just at the end of the day, the Diamondbacks should be better. And it shouldn't be a hot take to say that at this point in the season. There is talent everywhere. The bullpen is failing you. And when runners are in scoring position, the players are failing you. If you're going to blame Torey for some things, fine. But please, for the love of God, at least put half of the blame on the players. Because they're the ones actually in the game. Not just reading a computer on what they want, on what pitcher needs to pitch in the 8th. I saw someone else last night. I don't want to call them a name because, maybe they meant it in goodwill. But they were like, does Torey know that there's another guy in the pen that could pitch? It's like, okay. So now you don't want Torey to pitch Shelby Miller because he's the only guy competent enough in the bullpen to pitch. You want him to get someone else who you haven't heard of so that when they screw it up, you can blame Torey for not pitching Shelby Miller. I'm so over it. It's lazy arguing. It's frustrating.